Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and our listeners are in for a treat, making a return appearance on our Spotlight in the Community show. As our friends from the Autism Society San Diego, Shahriar Afshar is the executive director, and just loved what you said initially. Now you got some of your colleagues in with you. How you doing, sir?
Fantastic. It's great to be back. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So you are joined by Joel Anderson. How you doing, Joel?
Hi, I'm doing fine.
Doing good?
Yeah.
And so you're an artist, correct?
Yes, international artist, author, speaker, international autistic ambassador.
That is fantastic. What type of art do you like?
I do fine art.
And what got you into it? Why did you get so excited about art? How old were you? Were you like 2 years old? And
I started drawing when I was 5 and painting since I was 10.
Very, very good. And any inspiration? What inspired you to do this?
I do art when I see something interesting, when I see something on the books or on TV.
Oh, that's terrific. That sounds good. So, Katie, talk about what you love to do.
I love a lot of things. My most favorite thing to do, I like to dance. I go to the Aware dance parties, the Adults with Autism Recreation Experience.
So we just had on the show our friends from the SDSU Dance and Music Program.
Yeah, that sounded really cool.
Oh my goodness, that's right. Maybe you should look into that program. What do you think?
I don't know. I might. Yeah.
What's your favorite type of dance?
I don't know. Just freestyle, I guess. Any kind of like.
Do you do do you disco dancing at all? Have you ever done disco dancing?
Yeah. It's the dances I go to, it's more just like a dance party, so you can dance however you want.
Right.
So.
Exactly. That's terrific. So, Shahriar, talk a little bit about the role that Katie and Joel play and how important it is for your organization.
Well, it's just massively important. As the Autism Society, we want to make sure we have folks that are self-advocates who are on the spectrum, like Katie and Joel. They are just so important to our identity to make sure that we are developing programming and support groups and camps and what I always call judgment-free zones for families to
100%.
Come all over the county. So they're just such an important voice on our board, and we just couldn't do what we do without them.
Yeah, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc., and loves chatting about this. Kristen, why don't you
Yeah, we haven't done this question without me.
We save it for you.
Oh, thank you. So what is the mission of the Autism Society?
So, it's actually a mission that's somewhat under a bit of an attack nowadays, diversity, equity, inclusion for our community. Apart from awareness, which is, of course, most people are familiar with, we want to make sure our community is able to advance and gain acceptance in our community. We want to make sure our community has access to every bit of education and business opportunities and community programming, housing. I'm going to say housing 3 times. Housing.
Yeah.
Because in such an unaffordable community like San Diego, we just really, most people don't know how massively important housing is for the adult community. At some point, folks on the spectrum, like my son, my 17-year-old nonverbal son, will outgrow their living environment at home for one reason or another.
Right.
And they need to be able to live in a community where they're loved and they're supported and their parents are at peace, knowing that their child is looked after. And we don't have those communities here. We got a big regional crisis on our hands. It's part of our mission, especially in 2025, and based on our 5-year strategic plan that we have developed with our board, is to make sure all the political leaders, all the developers, all the architects, all the design professionals are aware of the housing crisis that we have for this community and begin to put us on a path of meeting that demand, although it's going to be impossibly difficult over the next 5 years.
Are there other cities or examples you can think of where they do that well, that you're kind of aiming for?
So there are inclusion communities being developed. There are the State Development Disability Services Department has funded and supported affordable housing projects around the state of California. In San Diego, we have something called Villa de Vida. It's in Poway. It's a 53-unit community. It's for high-functioning autistic individuals that need some care or some looking after, but they can more or less live independently. That's a unique example. We do not have a lot of Villa de Vidas. And Villa de Vida has 9,000 people on the waiting list.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I mean, who wasn't touched by your story when you came on before? You did such a great job. I'm so glad that Joel and Katie are joining you. And we cannot shout out enough about what your organization does. And as far as I'm concerned, we're going to have you on every quarter at minimum, because that's what we're going to do.
Happy to be here.
Well, listen, you look at these two fine folks over here, very talented people. Joel, talk about this upcoming event that you have going on. Lights, Camera, Autism? Is that
Okay.
right?
Lights, Camera, Autism is a red carpet event celebrating arts, media, music, and movies. I got to do these opportunities to sell my pop culture art and paint live, and I even enjoy being with old friends and hanging out with new friends. The people who participate in this event were Terrence Patridge, who plays the trombone, Danny Bowman of Danimation, and Love on the Spectrum, cosplayers like Stephen Fletcher, and artists like Austin Jones, Lonnie Smith, Kevin Hosseini, and myself, Joel Anderson, artist.
So did you develop this? Were you creating this? Are you the producer of this?
I don't know.
Yeah, probably yes, right? I mean, what's your role in this? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I was the board member for Autism Society San Diego from 2024 to current.
Good. Okay, so then you're involved in this. Is there a date where this takes place?
April 26th.
April 26th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Comic-Con Museum in Balboa Park.
Oh, that's
Cool.
a beautiful museum. That sounds great. Are you nervous? I guarantee
Confident.
you.
I'm confident. There's another art show coming up. It's the Oceanside Museum of Art. The exhibit is called The Art of Autism, A Different Lens. I'm part of that. And that art show goes from April 6th to July 27th.
Very
You
good.
are invited to come.
I'm honored to be there. Okay. Will you remember me if I'm in the audience?
I will.
Well, you won't call me out from the stage and have me do something, will you?
No.
Okay, I appreciate that. Okay, that sounds good. Now, what do you like doing most? Do you like acting? Do you like speaking? I know you like drawing. That's one of your favorite things. to do.
Yes.
What else?
Art
do you like
is
to do?
most part of me.
Right, but you like to speak too, and you like to act.
Sometimes I act.
Right, exactly. So on this, the one that's going to be on the Lights, Camera, Autism. Okay, that's going to be on. Is that Shahriar? What did we say? April 20.
April 26th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay, and that's at Comic-Con Museum, right?
Yes.
And we're actively looking for sponsors. So if there's any community companies, any organizations that want to help us produce this event, nowadays, as you know, everything is more expensive than they used to be last year. So we're looking for companies that we can profile, sponsors, participants. Joel and company have done a fantastic job of corralling autistic artists.
I was going to say.
In a community. So there will be a gallery of different artists like Joel that will profile their artwork for sale and for show. But we are looking for sponsors because it's just so expensive to produce things nowadays.
Right.
Speaking of sponsorship, I would like you to do all three things for me.
Please.
1, be a sponsor.
Okay.
2, be a donor. And 3, get tickets and come in person to Lights, Camera, Autism.
So you know what? You are you know what a marketer is? A person who markets stuff. You're doing a great. First of all, whatever. I applaud you. That's what a marketer does. Give yourself a round of applause for that. Yes, absolutely. Because you are promoting your show. You did a great job, by the way. Let me just tell you that right now. Okay, so you should be very proud of yourself on that one. I know Shahriar thinks it's the same thing. We're chatting with our friends from Autism Society of San Diego. Shahriar, she is the executive director of the organization, joined by Joel Anderson, artist, and board member for the organization. He's a great artist. He's also a good marketer, as we just found over here. And Katie Phelps, an advocate for the society. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We are the longest running community podcast show in the nation. We're doing it for 19 years. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, as we said earlier, 60 years of doing great things. Joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc. Kristen.
Yeah. Can I ask something before I ask that?
You sure?
Well, I got distracted because Katie said one of her favorite things is Bluey, and Bluey's one of my favorite things also. So I was like, can we talk about Bluey forever and ever and ever?
100%.
Do you know what Bluey is, Drew?
It sounds familiar. Is that something to do with it being blue? Is that right?
Oh my gosh. Bluey's just the best show on TV, and it's for kids, but also everybody else in the world.
I'm going to have to, where's it on? What station?
It's on Disney.
Disney. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll have to ask my daughter about that. She's a fourth grade teacher. I bet she knows about it. Right?
Yeah. Katie, I just want to say, do you have a favorite episode?
I have a lot of favorite episodes. My favorite character is Snickers.
Oh, yeah. Snickers is the wiener dog, right?
Yeah, the wiener dog with the yellow hat.
Nice.
I am a massive fan of Bluey.
Nice.
It's one of my special interests. And I think everyone should watch it.
I think so too. They sold their spoiler alert, they sold their house in one, and I cried like a baby for like 30 minutes. And my mom was like, "What's wrong with you?" It's just such a good show.
Now, does Declan watch it?
Oh yeah, Declan watches it, and then Joey, my husband, makes everyone who gets into our house watch it as well because it's just amazing. Well, okay, I'll get back to the scheduled program.
No. This is why we do this show.
Another spoiler alert: they didn't actually sell their house.
Yes. When they did, and then they didn't. That was part of my tears. I was just a mess about the entire situation.
It was amazing.
It's a double spoiler alert.
It was, I can't even talk about it right now. Okay, let's talk about the AWARE programs.
Yeah,
Can you talk a little bit about that?
AWARE is Adults with Autism Recreation Experience, and we have like social groups. We have Spectrum Social, which is co-ed for adults with autism, with a variety of ages. And we do it on Zoom, and sometimes we meet in person. There's also a new one called Girl Power, which is for women, adults with autism, to get together. And sometimes Zoom, sometimes we go out into the community and do stuff and get together. This Sunday, the Spectrum Social is having a movie trivia. So this Sunday at the Autism Society from 2 to 4 p.m.
Cool.
And it's just a fun, pretty relaxed group, and we're just going to do some trivia. And
nice.
Actually, one of my very first groups that I attended about a year and a half ago, I met my now best friend.
Oh, nice.
There.
That's awesome.
How cool is that? When we come back from break, Shahriar, I want to ask you who else you work with, other folks in the area. I'm going to ask you about a group that we just showcased a while ago called Stay Social, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, and talk about those relationships. And then also, I'm going to ask both Joel and I'm going to ask Katie why someone should get involved with the Autism Society of San Diego. So Joel, you and Katie, think about that. When we come back from break with our friends from Autism Society San Diego, Shahriar, he is the executive director of the society, joined by Joel Anderson, artist and a board member, Katie Phelps, an advocate. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and you are listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 19th year. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for more than 6 decades, doing great things in San Diego County, whether it's food insecurity, it's the arts, it's financial literacy, everything in between. They are just great supporters of everything in San Diego with our friends at the Autism Society San Diego. Shahriar Afshar, Executive Director, joined by his colleagues, Joel Anderson, an artist and a board member, and Katie Phelps, an advocate. I'm with one of the coolest people I like to advocate for, and that is Christine Fogel. Kristen is the Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc., celebrating their 20th anniversary last year and just continuing to do great things. Shahriar, we talked about this before, that obviously it takes more than one person to row down the right path over here. Who else do you work with in your space? And then I want to talk a little about Stay Social.
So we have a incredibly hardworking board of directors. These are all parents that have been doing this for 20 plus years. They're tireless advocates for their kids in this community, and they just do something that really you will be astounded as to how much they work. They manage the camps, they manage pool parties, they manage the big event we just had on February 7th. One of our board members, Shirley Fett, who manages with Elisa LaBelle at the Sharp Previs Innovation Center. We just had a big conference. It was sold out, 350, 400 people. There was just so much information to share. There were so many families there. It really was a community event, and we want to keep doing that kind of education. We would always like to build partnerships with other nonprofit organizations or for-profit organizations. I mentioned last time we're joining business associations, trying to get business groups to adopt an autism-friendly business environment. How do we help businesses welcome this community? The spending power that we have, this community has, is enormous. We all listen to each other. So if a mom or dad tells me, hey, listen, go to that pizza shop because they're autism-friendly, that's where I'm going. I mean, that's just, or stay at that hotel because it's an autism-friendly hotel, that's where I'm staying. So we have a very tight economic unit that we need to kind of flex our muscles and help the community adopt these measures. And also, we have other programs. We have a Beers and Cheers program. We've had it at Mike Hess Brewery in IB for 10 years now. We're now talking with the San Diego Brewers Guild and trying to develop an interest in having an autism happy hour all across the county. Because, folks in Oceanside aren't going to drive down to IB for a beer. Beer. So, it's not meant to promote drinking by any chance, but God knows autism parents are tired. They need a break. We would love to socialize just like anybody else does. And we feel our local pubs are great partners in hosting us across the county. So that's what we're working on right now.
Well, listen, and Kristen and I both feel so passionate about this. As I mentioned before, you cannot shout out enough what's going on. And you're right, the power of this audience, and not just folks who have kids or relatives that are autistic. I don't have one, but I'm going to be with you guys shoulder to shoulder. It's just the most important thing to do. The brains that come out of the folks, like what Joel is doing and what Katie is doing, is just absolutely monstrous, okay? And the contribution to society is huge. I say this all the time. Kristen's probably sick of me saying it, but I hope I live to the day where it's not going to be a stigma. And it shouldn't be a stigma at all in this area. Talk about Stay Social. We had Catherine Breen on, and I worked with Catherine, husband, at the Union Tribune. Steve Breen is an editorial cartoonist, and I thought it was fascinating. They have the son is on the spectrum. I'm not sure if you know Thomas. And the idea was, listen, are you kidding me? Why aren't we doing something that's a social group for people. Katie had talked about it, all the cool things that she's doing. So talk about connecting with groups like that.
Right. So we would love to connect with any group like that. And I'll tell you, like a lot of the events that are a core of who we are as a organization is community groups and social groups. Like I said, creating social environments where parents don't feel judged, camps, pool parties, dance aware, even this art program that Joel is just such an important part of. So, and it's interesting you mentioned that because I was just looking online. There are lots of parents that sometimes create social gyms, right, for their neurodiverse kids, because it's in this community, especially if you have a nonverbal child like I do,
right? You
spend all your days in ABA training, probably behavioral analysis training, and it could get a little lonely. It's a little difficult. Sometimes these kids could get frustrated. So creating a kind of a sensory gym where you're able to bounce around on the trampoline and just do everything kids that love to do is such a release. It is such a liberating experience. You can see it in that kid's, not just my kid, but any kid's eyes, that they are benefiting from that socialization. And San Diego, as I may have mentioned last time, I don't know, but Mission Bay has now a sensory park.
That's great.
San Diego. So kudos to City of San Diego. Let's have more cities do it. So the more that communities create these social environments for this neurodiverse and neurotypical kids to interact and not be judged, the more I feel like we could be really America's finest city, the more that we want to.
Exactly. Kristen?
Yeah. You mentioned earlier that, if the organization or the business is neurodiverse friendly or autism friendly, what does that look like?
So, I get that question a lot, and it's an excellent question. Look, when we go to a hotel, you need trained staff to know that, my kid probably can't stand in line. He's not going to put it. At TSA, I just heard that they do have an accelerated. So if you go to them, they will take your kid's hand, and take you ahead of the line.
That's great.
We don't do well in lines.
Yeah.
I don't do well in lines.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I can expect my son to do well.
100%.
Sure.
So
I'm with your son on that. I'm worse than him.
We're together on this. This is why we don't have to. So definitely train staff to what behaviors to accept and how to accommodate parents that can't stand in line or need a quiet room. Noise, lights, camera, a lot of that stuff really are stressful to this community. So to the extent that we can have a quiet room to chill out, regulate, we call it, and just wait our turn in the bank or wherever we need to be. We don't want to cut in fun, but we just want to, participate in society like everybody else does. So a quiet room helps. Train staff. And you know what? I'm just going to be not shy and say, I want a discount for our community too. You have happy hour discounts. You got Groupon discounts. Why can't our community get a discount so we can patronize your business? So to me,
100%.
An autism-friendly business is discounts, quiet room, trained staff. There's probably a bunch of other stuff we can add to it, but I don't want to complicate it for our business community. I want to make it easy. Physically, you don't have to build anything. You don't have to do anything construction. It's just training, accommodation, and openness to this community.
I have seen, several museums and also theater spaces that are offering, these sensory friendly or performances and things like that. So I think that's really cool.
The San Diego Symphony, God bless them, they have a sensory concierge. They work with us. They give us free tickets. We invite our families.
Yeah.
The Fleet Museum was just in our public meeting last week, talking about how they have a sensory program. The zoo and Legoland and the water park in Chula Vista, they all have some kind of the caretaker gets in for free program. So
that's great.
We should have brought this up to Admiral Kraft. I wonder if they do it on the Midway.
Absolutely.
The friend of ours is the CEO of the USS Midway Museum. And do they do the same thing?
You know what? That's why I joined the Working Water Fund, which is a Port Tenants Association where they're a member.
Correct.
For exactly that reason, to make sure I socialize my pitch to all the Bay.
Did they respond?
I will. They're on my list.
Well, I'm going to make an introduction to you. So when you offline, you and I will chat about Stay Social.
Yeah.
And then we'll put you in touch with Terry Kraft.
Excellent. Thank you
and if you would have come earlier, you would have been able to talk to him face-to-face on this. We're chatting with Shahriar Afshar. He is the Executive Director of Autism Society of San Diego, joined by his colleagues Joel Anderson, an artist and a board member. He's going to be involved in a very, very cool event called Lights, Camera, Autism. That is coming up at the Comic-Con Museum, and also joined by Katie Phelps, advocate for Autism Society San Diego. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for the last 60 years plus in San Diego County. Okay, I've been giving you some time to think about this, Katie and Joel. We'll start with you on this, Katie. Why should someone get involved with the Autism Society of San Diego? What makes that such a great organization?
Well, I think the autism community is like a judgment-free. Like no one judges you for whatever special interests you have, or however you present yourself, or whatever kind of needs you need. And it's an amazing place to meet new friends for adults with autism and for parents with kids on the spectrum as well. And we always look after each other and have each other's backs and help each other as much as we can. And yeah, it's just an amazing community. I know I've definitely grown after joining this community.
Well, listen, we need everyone to join that community. Are you kidding me? Whether you have somebody that's autistic in your family or not, we're all in this together. Joel, what advice would you give to people to joining the society and working with cool people like you?
Well, we can encourage everyone that are created for a purpose to be the best that they can be. My signature is so smile and be the best you can be.
I like that. Did you come up with that yourself?
Yes, Mom told it to me too.
Oh, that is great. Not only are you a great marketer, we already talked about this, you help sell the organization. You're good at going ahead and coming up with themes and slogans and all this. Maybe we'll have you do some advertising for us. What do you think? Would you want to do that?
Sometimes.
Okay, good. Maybe we'll come up and Brandon, let's get back to Joel and see if you can come up with a little tagline for Spotlight on the Community. What do you think about that? My producer's saying yes in that area over here. Absolutely. Chris and I, we cannot chat about this organization enough. We can't shout them out enough. They'll probably get sick and tired of coming on our Spotlight show. Shahriar is saying that you're out of your mind, Drew. We're going to come on all the time. Shahriar, tell us what our listeners can do to continue to support the great work of your organization and support Joel and Katie and the others.
We would love to actually hear from the community of how we can be of better service to the community. Like you say, this is really a community effort. You don't have to have a direct connection to autism. We're trying to make our city a better city. We're trying to make our region a more inclusive city, and that helps everybody. When I used to work at the Port of San Diego, we used to say a rising tide lifts all boats.
Correct.
So if we're doing good, that means you're doing good. That means you're a better city. And I also just want to shout out that we couldn't do anything that we're doing in this community without the larger family unit. And in the studio, we have the two moms of Katie and Joel. And they're, I call these folks super moms. I don't know where they get the energy. I don't have it.
You do have it. You're selling yourself short.
It takes a village to lift this community up. And these moms are always there. I say moms because moms are always are more active in this community than others. I did start a dad group to try to get dads involved in this.
And they should be.
Yeah, dads. And then these dads groups come. And so getting involved with us, you can come to these support groups. It's free. We don't check ID. We don't. If you have any questions, you can email us. You can join our organization. You can sponsor. And I think I can't say it better than Joel did. So just join us, and I think you'll feel better about everything you're doing in San Diego.
Yeah, I think because we have groups like Stay Social on our Spotlight show. We've had Writing Above Disability. We love having those folks on, and maybe we should think about, I'll talk to my associate producer about this, maybe coming out somewhere and doing a special remote when you folks are doing an event. We do that quite a bit. We'll go out to a place. We've been to the Sheriff's Department. We've been to the Humane Society. What do you think about that idea, Kristen?
I like that idea, yeah.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and come up with some ideas on that. Sure, shout out the website for people who want to get engaged with you.
So autismsocietysandiego.org. You can Google us. You can't miss us. And we'd love to hear from you.
Well, listen, you're a delight. Joel and Katie, thank you for coming in. It was a pleasure meeting you, wishing you nothing but great success. Do you have any final comments you want to say, Katie?
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course.
It was really cool to be on a podcast.
Well, you did a great... Is this your first podcast?
No, actually. I was on a very small one.
Oh, small one. That's right. Well, now you've been on a little bit of a bigger one.
Yeah.
So that's good. You did a great job, by the way.
And I too want to sign off with something I want to say.
Absolutely, Joel.
So smile and be the best you can be.
Nice.
That is a great way to sign off, and I'm going to leave it at that. And we hope our audience enjoyed this edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show and on those final great comments by Joel. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.